Coming at you from the 245 Trioxin Studios, this is Return of the Living Podcast.
And welcome everyone to another episode of Return of the Living Podcast. We're your host. I'm Jared Howell.
I'm Brad Banforth.
And I'm Larry.
Larry!
Real quick for this, shout out to Corey. He could not be here. He had a family emergency. So
It's the world's longest family emergency.
Ew. I don't want to make light of it, but it's so funny.
But
That's too funny.
the wrestling. Yeah.
but it's not wrestling. He's got a family emergency.
He was wrestling last week.
Now he's got a family.
And he'll be wrestling next week.
He didn't have
too.
a family last week. He has a family now.
So
Wrong. That's so mean. That's so sad.
Oh,
Should we not put that in front of our Transworld episode?
I don't know.
He has a family.
People still want to be entertained.
That's true.
So
Are you not entertained?
not that this
By the way, we're talking about Transworld today.
yeah.
By the way, on today's episode,
On today's episode of Return of the Living Podcast. So we're interviewing Jennifer Braverman from
Correct.
Transworld. We're pretty excited about it.
I am.
You can't tell, but
Jared's excited face is covered up by that righteous beard.
it is.
But no, we are
don't
talking.
encourage his beard.
Why not? Don't be jealous.
We are talking Transworld, and
Shows that I'm a patient, wise man. Okay, sorry, Brad.
it's all right. It's fine.
You're so full of shit.
But
Yeah.
no, it's Transworld. Transworld's coming up, and
Really fast. I
Really
keep wanting
fast.
to put it back because I'm just like, haunt season's not starting yet. Haunt season's not starting yet, but it is.
It actually,
Whether
for
I like
me,
it or not.
It took forever because I was so amped for it. It was like when you're going to Disney World the next day and you can't sleep kind of thing. I was really amped for it, and it was just crawling. Like days were just crawling by. This last week, almost a month of time has passed for me, and now it's like, oh shit, it's here, like it's coming, and now I'm nervous more so than excited.
We
have
are-
so much to do.
We are going to cover the shit out of Transworld this year.
that's what we hope anyway. That's our hope.
It's not hope. We're gonna be.
We're
there.
gonna do it. Yeah, it's gonna be all business for us.
Oh, and if speaking of, if there's any of our listeners
For
out
you.
there, there's a lot of I've come to realize that there's a lot of vendors going to be at the show that are listeners of ours. If you guys want any coverage, please give us a heads up before, so we can at least try to schedule you in as opposed to catching us last minute. So if you have any interest and you'd like to be featured on the show, you'll be, we'll have special promos for each person. We're going to be doing quick updates to YouTube, so you can see what we're doing live. And then also, I completely lost my train of thought. If we can edit that.
Today.
But
Hang on.
take a drink.
If it gives you wings, it'll give you memory too.
I don't fucking remember what I was going to say. But if you would like to get coverage, please let us know as soon as possible. That way we can pencil you in and get you on the YouTubes and such.
We've got, I mean, any vendor knows that plenty of people show up with their handheld and cover Transworld. Our goal is to be the leader in Transworld coverage this year. I think we're gonna have video and video interviews up. We're gonna have the opportunity to get a good shot of your product and throw it out there. And as Larry said, we're doing live updates. So please
Using
hit us up in
Larry's fancy equipment,
fancy equipment.
which is the reason we brought him on the show.
Yeah.
And the fact that he is entertaining is just a
Just a
bonus.
fucking bonus.
It's just a bonus.
So
And I do actually have a special announcement that I will let you guys know. You guys don't even know.
Uh-oh.
I've got a secret in my pocket, and it's not my penis. So we've got some special announcements coming up. Like I said, we're going to be doing live coverage. We're going to be uploading things that night. We've basically planned everything out to where we can shoot things and have them up within a few hours. We're going to have everything on our persons to be able to do that. I've got all the equipment that we're going to need. So we're going to be doing some really neat things, and we're going to get some really quick videos out for you guys. So stay tuned to our YouTube channel if you're a viewer, and if you're a vendor.
If you are a viewer, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Make sure to subscribe and like. That way you can get updates whenever we pop those out. So if you're sitting at home and maybe you've got like one of those kid diseases or one of those job things, and you're really sad that you don't get to go to Transworld, give us a subscribe and a like and a follow and all the interwebs, and you'll get some pretty quick updates. So
we'll make you feel like you're there.
Do you think this is breaking podcast history? We're going to be live casting an event. It's kind of nutty.
I don't know if it's necessarily
technically live casting, but we're pretty damn close.
I also have another surprise as far as that goes. So we may be live casting.
Well, let's go ahead and get Jennifer on the line so we can get Jennifer. No, I'm fine.
I'm stoked.
I'm
for all
editing
this.
that part out. I was gonna say hurry up and get Jennifer on the line so we can get Jennifer off the line and figure out what these surprises are Larry's talking about.
I wondered what the fuck you were getting at. Let's get Jennifer on the line so we can get Jennifer on the line.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Edit.
Edit.
So, but I'm just stoked. I'm hyped for Transworld this year.
Me too.
I'm ready to go.
Simply cannot wait.
I'm ready to go work my ass off.
It's true.
But anyway, let's get Jennifer on the line and get this shindig underway.
Beep boop beep 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 beep.
This episode of Return of the Living Podcast is brought to you by Haunt Nation Magazine. Haunt Nation is a free website for Halloween and horror addicts covering prop how-tos, SFX makeup tips, pro and home haunted attraction reviews, exciting contests, conventions, exclusive member downloads, and much, much more. And it's free. Just go to www.hauntnationmag.com. All right, guys. So we have Jennifer Braverman on the line with us from Transworld Haunted Attraction Trade Show. Pretty stoked about this interview. It's one of our favorite trade shows to go to every year.
It's the trade show to go to every year for at least for us. It's where, it's where our show has kind of expanded over the last few years. We've had a chance to talk to a lot of people that we've always wanted to talk to while we're at Transworld, and now we get to talk to someone who has a working knowledge of everything that we've always wanted to know about the show. And we'll go ahead and get started. I wanted to talk to you real quick first about just the overall history of Transworld. I mean, because haunted houses have evolved over the years, and Transworld sort of has kind of been out in the forefront of that. Can you talk a little bit about the overall history in brief of Transworld and how the industry has evolved from, and how the show has evolved in from your perspective?
Well, the show really started out, it was years ago, my family ran a general merchandise show. And from that show, Halloween costumes kind of springboarded off of that, which became the Halloween Costume and Party Show. And that had a bunch of different costume companies and makeup companies and all sorts of things like that. And it started to slowly have haunt kind of seeping into it very, very slow until ultimately haunt ended up just becoming its own show, needing its own type of buyers, its own time of year. And really in the last 8-9 years has developed as a standalone show, where for probably prior to that, 10 years, it was mixed in with the Halloween Costume and Party Show that would run in Chicago every year.
Let's, even before the actual show itself, when did you first start getting into the Halloween, the scene of horror? I mean, was it something that you got into once you saw the show kind of expanding that way, or were you in it before?
I was more on the Halloween costume side of the show when I finished college. I started working for my family and doing that with running some of the fashion shows and doing, things like that. And later on, I ended up not wanting to work for my family, and that's when the shows kind of broke off. And I actually own the Haunt and Attraction show that runs in St. Louis, and I kind of saw that as its own entity. I wanted to create a buyer board, an exhibitor board, and kind of run it the way the show needed to be run and run it for the industry as opposed to running it in a traditional trade show format that we've done in the past. And I saw a lot of growth and potential. I saw a lot of agri entertainment getting into it, which would mean the pumpkin patches and the corn mazes and theme parks and everyone that really started theming out for Halloween. And that's kind of how the show ended up starting to grow. It really grew because the leaders of the industry really helped to build the show. The Ben Armstrongs, the Tim Gavinsky, the Dwayne Sandbergs, the Randy Bateses. You know, we've had in so many different exhibitors like Larry Kirshner, the Haunted Attractions, and you've got Michael Shaley from Ghost Riding, Kevin from Gorgalore. Everyone kind of got together and it was like, what does this show need? What do we have to do to really make it successful? And when we started it in St. Louis, it was about 115 booths, maybe 1,000 people. And now we're rounding out at 800 booths and 8,500 people. It's 8 years later.
Wow.
So it's really grown.
Yeah. I mean, it's, this is, you know, there are other Halloween and haunt conventions that take place before Transworld, but Transworld seems to be, at least to me, seems to be the real kickoff of the
preseason,
the preseason for haunting. And it's, you know, Transworld is one of those. The first time I went to Transworld was 2012, and I don't think my jaw has yet come up off the floor with everything that I experienced there. And I made it. I made a promise to myself that I would be back pretty much every year from that point on. And even in the 2012, 2013, 2014, just seeing the growth in those 3 years, I can, you know, it's really impressive what you guys have going on, and you know, it's one of those things that personally, as if someone's going that goes and attends Transworld every year, you see a lot of familiar faces, but you always see something that you've never seen before.
Yeah. No, I would agree. I think the difference between that and some of the other shows that are out there, or even some of the other shows that we produce, is that this is a true order rating show. And there's a lot of conventions out there, and those conventions are good, but those are more geared for social haunt tours and social activities, and there are small trade show floor components, but this show is really geared for everything. It has the networking at night. It has the show floor, which is a huge focus. It has seminars to try to keep people that are getting started in the business and help give them a lot of education, as well as people that have been in the business for a long time, you know, learning new things, how to sell sponsorship, marketing, you know, all sorts of things that are new and problems that start coming up with haunted houses. And it's really a place for education. I mean, it's a one-stop shop for everything. And I think that's kind of what differentiates the St. Louis show from all the other conventions, because it's not a convention, it's a trade show. And I think that's the difference.
Now you mentioned some of the seminars about starting a new haunt. Are there any other, you know, classes? Like, can you give us just kind of a quick rundown about what all you can learn while you're there?
Sure. I mean, we have, you know, a definite array of seminars, even starting with our speed seminars, which run on Wednesday, which is kind of like you get 30 minutes of like all these great speakers, you know, kind of like how to run your business successfully off season, and how, you know, to deal with crowds and fire control and designing your haunted attractions, sketch arts, and optimizing websites, and, you know, how to make group sales work for you, and, you know, all sorts of things like that. That would happen on Wednesday, where you get all of these seminars for like, you know, $120. It's like a great price. And then afterwards, we're doing a tour. For the first time, we have a pre-convention tour that's going to Talon Falls, which I think is great. And I think going to see the haunts are an education within themselves too, where you get a chance to really walk through them and then get a chance to ask, you know, the people that produce these haunts, you know, questions and answers as well on what they were thinking or what their vision was. And I think all of those things are true learning experiences for all of our attendees. And then, you know, on Thursday, we have a little bit more of the traditional seminars, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Some are really long seminars. Some are shorter, like low-budget marketing, how to build a world-class screen park. We've got stuff for paintball, because paintball fields have now been steaming out for Halloween, and they're doing zombie rides. And, you know, we've got Not Scary Farm Talking. We've got, you know, stuff for social media, for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, how to use that. So there's so many different courses. And we've got a newcomer's breakfast, where if people are new to the industry, they can get a chance to ask questions to Dwayne Sanborn from like 13th Gate or Randy Bates from the Bates Motel. So there's so many different things. There's something for everyone really at the show, depending on what your purpose is for coming. If you're coming and you're just getting started, there's something for you. If you're more advanced, there's things for them. You know, it's kind of like a salad bar of seminars.
Well, the beginner breakfast that you talked about sounds fascinating to me, because I got into haunting later in life, and I would have killed for an opportunity to learn and to talk to people that had been doing it for 20 years or more, that had so much experience, and to know that you guys provide an avenue for that is really fantastic.
Yeah, and I think it's great. It's been very popular every year. Our buyer board produces it, and people get a chance to put on index cards their questions, and then get a chance to hear from these guys, you know, who can answer it. And it's really like a free form conversation where people can just ask whatever questions they have, where sometimes in the seminars they're more geared towards a specific topic.
That's one of the big appeals to Transworld for me, is that these aren't just like seminars from Randy so-and-so from the local haunt. I mean, these are like the real industry rock stars, if you will. Like the 13th Gate, that's friggin' huge for the haunt industry. So these guys in the seminars really know their stuff, and they've been around for a long time. So that's the huge appeal.
And I would agree. And the people that produce our seminars, Ben Armstrong is the creative mind behind the seminars, and he owns Netherworld Haunted House. So, I mean, we really try to provide information from people that are in the industry. And I think that's an enormous thing, you know, and having these people really work, and people that run successful haunts and know what it takes to really get people from point A to point B and develop these classes, I think are so important. And I think that's what makes our seminar series more successful than some of the other ones, and really set us apart from everything else.
You know, haunting there's still a lot of that, you know, they're out to get us. We need to just worry about ourselves, kind of play in our own sandbox. But to be able to take a seminar and learn from people who run haunted houses that are nationally in the top 5 or 10 every single year, and that they're willing to share, is a great step forward, not only for us as a benefit, but for the industry as a whole. And you know, I'm just so impressed that you guys have the capability and the people that actually, they're doing it because they want to pass on their knowledge to the younger haunt generation. And it means, at least for me, it means that haunting will be stable and can continue to grow for the future. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, you know, we focus a lot on safety too, because it's kind of like if someone does something stupid, it affects us all. So I think everyone feels that education is just so important, even if you are, you know, for all intents and purposes, teaching someone who is in your market, you know, what to do. I think it's important that everyone follows the rules and understands what it takes to do this. And I think that the industry is very sharing. You know, over the years, it really has become that. You have Scott Simmons from Scare House. I mean, you have so many people that have haunts in so many different markets that are willing to open up and let you ask questions, that I really think, you know, forgetting the show floor, forgetting all the other stuff, that's such a huge added value, because those are things you just don't, you know, if someone can help you with the pitfalls before you enter into the business, you know, you can't put a price on that.
Right.
Absolutely. There's you were talking about the seminars. I know there's a few that I'm looking at taking this year when we go on. I'm a casting director at one of the local haunts here, and I'm really excited just to take some of the classes to be better versed and better well-rounded at the job or the current position that I hold there. And I'm really, really ecstatic about that, even more so than the show floor, like you said. I'm really stoked about that. But speaking of the show floor, are there any new big vendors that you'd like to mention?
You know, we have this year probably about 45 new companies on top of all the old ones that will be there at this year. And it always amazes me, you know, that Ben, one of my close friends who owns Netherworld, always says, walking on the show floor is like Christmas. It's like you never know what you're going to see, what you're going to open, what's going to be next in front of you. And there is no thrill. I mean, it's great when you're seeing all these guys come in with their crates and emptying their trucks and starting to set up. But Thursday morning, my biggest thrill is like walking on the show floor before the show actually opens and everyone's all set up and seeing the displays and seeing how everything was so well thought out and put together. And, and knowing that all of these types of things will somehow be incorporated to next year's Halloween season for so many different haunts or attractions or things or anyone that themes out for haunts. It's amazing. I mean, it really is. It's like, wow. I mean, it's really a marketplace for the Halloween industry. And it's amazing, and that's the coolest thing. It really is. It's seeing it all pulled together and then seeing that line out the door of buyers and then the rush and seeing their faces when they come in and they're walking down the aisles and the fog and the smoke isn't too bad yet in the hall and you can actually still see people. And it's amazing. I mean, it really is. It's so cool. And I'm so proud of everyone. And you can really see that these booths are just so well thought out and the products that people have developed are so interesting. And it's like, I don't know, it blows me away every year. It really blows me away. And I'm just proud to be able to work with all these creative minds. I mean, it really is an honor because how many industries do you really get to see all these artists? And that's what everyone is, really put together all these cool things and then see the people that own haunts, putting them in and seeing that, their patrons walk through and they get to enjoy it and knowing that so many people will get to share in this. I mean, I think the last statistic I saw is like 25% of all Americans attend a haunted house each year. I mean, that's huge.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
Well, that's something.
Yeah, I mean, so it's neat. I mean, I love it. I do. I really, it's like nothing else. The rush is just amazing.
That's one thing that I was going to say is that that's a huge number of people that go to haunted houses every year. And I started in the haunt industry at kind of a smaller, like, just hardy har. Everybody's got a local haunted house to now through the years learning it's actually like $1 million industry and it keeps growing and growing. And the fact that 25% of all Americans?
Yeah,
is
that was
the
last one. Yeah, they said 25% of all Americans attend a haunted house each year. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, and 45, you said there's 45 new companies at Transworld. There's no doubt Transworld has some play in the haunt industry getting huge. So,
well, I know last year when we went, there was a vendor that was just selling inserts for your shoes. And Jared bought an insert and said it was one of the greatest products he's ever.
Well, that old guy too.
Back. We have those companies coming back, and those are great too. I mean, there's always interesting stuff on the show floor.
That guy was so funny. I remember him just being like, "I don't really know what we're doing here, but here's these insoles," and I was like, "You have no idea how many people this is gonna help. Like, you really don't."
There's
such a fun guy.
Not being able to stand up straight when you leave a haunted house is not a good feeling. Having something comfortable that you're walking on or jumping on. That is helpful. But one of the most impressive things to me about the show floor is the
dark room.
Well, you have the dark room.
The dark zone, yeah.
Yeah, you have the dark zone, and you have props that are $15,000 or $20,000. But then you have the stuff that any home haunter, like I started as a home haunter, any home haunter can go and afford to. And they can pick up stuff for their at-home attraction or their smaller professional haunt attraction. They may not have the money for the $20,000 animatronics, but there's always stuff that they can pick up, they can incorporate in their haunt that makes their haunt better. And I think
I would agree. I think there's something for everyone. And the majority of people that come to the show necessarily aren't the biggest haunts either. I mean, we've got a lot of charity haunts and a lot of municipalities that come that just theme out, whether it's a fire station or the Boy Scouts, that are doing stuff for camping grounds, Yellowstone National Park. Everyone comes to buy stuff. And you're right, there is something for everyone. There's that big, shiny, expensive object, but you can also get something that a home haunter can afford. Home haunting has become a pretty good, decent size of the show, too, because they can spend money, too. People like to spend money to decorate for their homes, and you can't get that stuff at Spirit Halloween or any of the party stores. They just
Well, you can, but it breaks.
That this stuff does. Right. It breaks, and it doesn't have the detail that some of these, these companies do, and they don't, necessarily outsell the party stores. So, I I think the show's a great value for a lot of different people.
Yeah, it's.
Well,
Go ahead.
speaking of the value of Transworld, we've talked a lot about the seminars and the trade show. There's a lot of other stuff going on at Transworld too. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Like, I know there's a party, the museum party every year, and things
we
like
do.
that.
We do like an opening night party that's for free, that's incorporated with the show, and we give some drink tickets this year. We're having a DJ, we're having a dance floor. You know, we're going to do a bunch of cool stuff, and that's really great. I mean, the networking is huge. I mean, everyone goes out after hours, and it gives you a chance to really talk and connect with people. So we've got a Thursday night opening night party, ticket leads. We have throwing a party at the Flamingo Bowl on Thursday night. Larry's got his haunt tours opened up. Friday, we've got the City Museum, which is a blast. I mean, a kid can be a kid again there, and we serve a dinner, and we've got a DJ, and we have bars, and last year, I think we had over 1,000 people.
I've always wanted to go there. I've always wanted to go there.
It's great. We've got the association runs auctions, which are a lot of fun and great, and they run an Oscar dinner. And there's just, it gives us a chance for all the groups to kind of come together and throw events and for everyone to get to attend everything all at one location. So we've got haunted house tours every night. We've got our pre-convention tour. We've got The Price is Right on Saturday night, which is a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
I was getting ready to bring that up, actually.
I forgot all about that one.
Yeah. Years ago, I talked to John. John and I are very close friends, and I'm like, we need something really fun. You know, and this is actually the last year of The Price is Right in this format. Next year, John's going to be throwing a different party, but it'll be different. You know, I think it's kind of like after a while, parties sometimes can run their course. So this is his last year of doing it in this format. But I just think it's really fun. I mean, there's just a lot of things to do. There's really something for everyone every night. And I think the price of the parties are really affordable. And I think you get a lot of value out of them.
You know, Transworld, you know, it's the haunt industry, at least for me, it's the haunt industry Super Bowl kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've seen haunts from Europe. I've seen haunts from Mexico. I've seen, of course, haunts all from across the United States and Canada. But Transworld's name is out there so much. You know, his reputation is so great that you're pulling haunters from across the pond. Or
no, I appreciate that. No, we have people from like Istanbul. I have people from France. I mean,
it's absolutely
Japan,
insane.
Singapore. I can't even believe half the. I mean, the registration is unbelievable for this year. And I mean, it's just, there's so many different countries and so many, what blows my mind is so many people are getting into theming of Halloween, even people that have resorts and things like that. It's just, there's so many ideas out there and people wanting just to start Halloween and attractions, things in their country. So it's enormous. It really is becoming such an enormous business.
With the advent of, you know, shows like The Walking Dead becoming popular and other, I think there's one on sci-fi called Z Nation that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. You know, horror is becoming a lot more accessible to more people, and
yeah, it's way more mainstream. I would agree.
It is, and that drives people to want to do the haunted house stuff. And you guys provide the best place for people to kind of get that initial feeling of what haunting is all about. And it is really cool to walk around and see haunts from other parts of the world that are coming to check out your show. Jared?
What I was just gonna say, that's part of the networking that makes it awesome. You never know who you're gonna meet there at Transworld.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I love it. I mean, I do. It's so interesting, and and you think you're going to go with one thing, and then you have these experiences, and you walk away, and you're like, "Wow, that was really cool." So
yeah.
I don't know. And you can't get that. You know, people always say, "Well, going to trade shows, some of them are becoming obsolete and things like that." But you can't get those experiences by looking up Gorgolore stuff in a catalog. You need to come and touch it, feel it, smell it, talk to people. Other people give you ideas of how they would use certain products in their haunts, and it really is just, I don't know, it's really just a time for heavy networking and figuring out what you're going to do for your season.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, we're just a bunch of Kentucky boys that we've been covering Transworld, I think, on the underground the last 2 years, and our first year there, we came back with like friends from multiple states. Like, it's really helped us grow too. So thanks for that. But the networking opportunity at Transworld is just immense. It's enormous, which is one of the more fun things for me, I think.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. It's way more than just a show these days. So, we encourage, people that are thinking about getting started in the business and want to come and take classes and want to learn and want to network to really come to this show and be part of it and get ideas and, be able then to go home and start really brainstorming and seeing, how you can make some of your dreams become a reality. So I think it's a great show, and I'm proud that I get to work with all these amazing people who help really put it all together with me.
You mentioned that you like to you like people to come and see and smell and touch, and what I immediately thought of, one of our favorite vendors is Froggy's Fog.
Yeah, totally.
Their scents. Oh my
gosh! Yeah,
gosh!
And they're the premier show sponsor, so you're going to see their name everywhere. They're participating in everything.
I love all those guys, and I'm from Fear Fair. We use a ton of their products in a ton of different places. They're great people, but last year, I forget even which convention I was at, but I was standing there talking to one of the salesmen, and they were pointing out some of the scents, and it was meat locker or like spoiled meat, I think.
Oh, I know. Some of the stuff is just, it's so foul.
It was, and it wasn't like, oh, this stinks. It was like, this burns my brain. I can't stand near this right now. And it's, that really popped into my head when you say you have to see and smell and touch. That is one of those that you have no idea until you get near one of those little, and they're so little. They're like the size of a cupcake, but they smell so bad or strong, depending on what it is.
But it's great. I mean, if you think about that, putting those scents in haunts and meat locker scenes and all those different scenes, and you walk in and it's like, wow. I mean, it just all comes together. But yeah, I mean, those guys are great, and the products are amazing, and it's neat. So you're right. Everything is see, touch, and smell. And when you go in the dark zone and you see something of what David has created from Scare Factory, and it pops out at you, and you're like, well, I mean, it's just. Some of the stuff it still amazes me, when I look at it and, I see the stuff being built, and when it all comes to life, it's like, it's an experience. I mean, you really have to experience it. It's hard to describe it.
But you said that earlier that one of your favorite moments is to walk the show floor before opening the first day. Is that the first time that you have to kind of just go, it's actually happening? I mean, what's the pressure like to come up with a show that is bigger and better every year than the year before it?
If you talk to any of my exhibitors, I take my job very seriously, because I understand that they're paying for a booth, but not only are they paying for a booth, I could be helping them get 80% of their sales for the entire year. So when we go out and we go to other trade shows and we try to comb lists to get other buyers from other markets and things like that, I take it very, very seriously. So it's a lot of pressure. I mean, it's a lot of pressure to do it, because I don't want to disappoint anyone.
Absolutely.
And I want to walk around and see my exhibitors giving me a thumbs up that they're having good sales and that we've brought good people and they're happy. And that is really just as important to me as that first day. So it is a lot of pressure, because I feel like people are counting on me to deliver. And every year I feel like I need to raise the bar. It needs to be better and better. And I can't just rest on what I did the year prior. So that's kind of how I look at things. So it is a lot of pressure. And right now we're in the heat of it. So we're just trying to make it all work and make sure we get everyone signed up and, get their accommodations the way they need it, and, make the trip out to St. Louis as comfortable as we can for the buyers as well. So it is a lot of pressure to do that. But, I think over the years we've figured out ways to improve it and make it better. And we still, every year when I leave a show, I'm like, God, I should have done this. I should have done that. But, to some degree, you do the best you can. But, I think the fact that our retention rate is high and people keep coming back year after year means they're doing sales. So we're doing something right.
Of course. And we've kind of touched on what it's like to attend. You had mentioned making a good environment for your vendors to sell. Can you touch a little on that aspect of it? Because we've covered attending, but not really selling. it's definitely, I guess you're not really having troubles picking up new clients or new vendors, but, do you want to talk a little about what it's like being a vendor as opposed to being just an attendee?
Yeah, I mean, I think the vendor has a hard job because, it's not just the price of the booth. It's how they're going to get their materials to St. Louis. And we've worked really hard on negotiating rates with the decorating companies, and we've kept our booth price the same for, since we started in St. Louis pretty much, because we know what a cost it is for them to come to the show. They bring large crews. They have to pack up all their stuff. They have to incur the cost for the decorating company as well as any other type of service they need in the hall. So it's a large expense for any exhibitor to exhibit. It really is, in printing catalogs and everything they need. So I give them a lot of credit. And these exhibitors are pretty organized, and they're very smart, too. They know what they need to do and how quick they need to get it done. There's a lot of building on the show floor because you see, not everyone just has one or two booths. You have people that have some pretty large exhibits. So it just, in how fast they can get everything done and do things. And I'm just amazed at it. It is an enormous undertaking. By the time they set up for the show, they're ready to go. They're exhausted. And now they still have to come to the show every single day, get there early in the morning, usually around 9 o'clock, and leave at 5 at night. And it's talking all day. So it's a really hard week for an exhibitor if you really think about it.
But it can definitely be worth it.
Absolutely. I mean, they write the orders for their entire year, but I mean, we know I exhibited a bunch of, different shows as well. And I'm exhausted by the end. I'm exhausted. We get to St. Louis. My team gets there on Sunday. So to get the hall prepped and get everything ready to go, by the time the show starts on Thursday, I'm like dead. And now you've got parties that are going on. You got the show all day, seminars all day, and then you got parties all night. So you're up till 2 a.m. and you're getting started again at 6 a.m. There really isn't much sleep for those 12 days.
Yeah, one of our favorite stories was from last year's Transworld, where we've because of the show and because of Transworld, we've met a lot of people that across the country that we've always looked up to, and Michael Edwards and Bart Butler from formerly of the Haunt House. I know they're speaking on Q Line acting. But they went to the party, and then at like 6 a.m., they posted a picture of them like dumpster diving for materials outside of out behind like a restaurant, and it was just like, that's the life of a haunter. It doesn't matter if you're you're the multi-million-dollar professional top 10 nationwide haunt, or if you're the lower budget local haunt. Everybody does the same thing. We're all the same people.
Yeah, totally. I agree.
I don't really have a whole lot more, but I do want to ask, for your personal preference, you said you started earlier with more of the Halloween costuming. Just for you personally, when you walk through a haunt, do you prefer the big giant animatronics, or do you like the haunts that are more actor based with masks and makeup?
You want to hear the truth?
Yeah.
The truth is, I'm so scared I will not go into the haunt.
Yes, that's fantastic.
It's a running joke in the industry. Everyone will turn to me and be like, "So Jen, what did you think of the haunt?" I'm going them. I can handle watching the show floor and seeing it all set up.
Yeah.
But it is terrifying to me, and I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, all my friends own them, and I produce haunt tours. I do so much different stuff, but I'm terrified to go in them. So I don't have a good answer for that one, and I don't want to make one up.
Well, Transworld, the show floor is a little bit, it's a little easier to handle. I will say the show floor has been worth the money for me just because I have a weird phobia of anything that's animatronic and looks like a dinosaur. Transworld has helped me. Transworld has helped me cure that phobia over the last few years. But
that's awesome.
It's a nightmare.
I just remember you and I went through a local haunt. We ended up going to work there later on, but they have plant monsters that look like alligators, and I just remember your face being buried in my back.
I was like, go. Yeah, I'm not, I don't know what it is. It's weird, but Transworld, I'm no longer scared now, thanks to Transworld. But
that's awesome. I tried going in. We did a haunt tour one year down in Kansas City to the edge of Hell and the Beast, and those are some pretty scary haunted houses. And I was in like some forest scene just planning it with the owner, Amber, and I was horrified. I'm like, I got to get out of here. It was just it's too much. But
there's nothing wrong with that. There's
things.
nothing to be ashamed of.
No, it is. It's funny just because of what I do. But and that's why I can appreciate it. It's just some of the artwork and intricacies are it's so amazing. I mean, it really is. And some of the math and the detail and the things and TFX and some of the other companies, it's awesome. It really is. I'm just amazed every year when I see everything.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to it. Before we let you go, let everybody know where they can find out more information, admission price or registration price, and times and dates, that kind of stuff.
Sure, you can go to www.haashow.com, and the price is $50, but it does include early bird seminars every morning. It also includes the opening night party, like I spoke of, and you've got demonstrations that are on the show floor every single day as well. So, and then the exhibitors put on a certain amount of seminars, which are free too. So, even though it is $50, there is a lot of value that comes with that ticket.
Fantastic. Good.
And one more thing before we let you go. I've been kind of following what you guys have been up to. I'm a huge fan of Midwest Haunt Con. We will probably going to have you back on to cover some of those later, but can you run through all of the shows that you cover so fans can know what to look forward to as far as coverage goes?
Sure. We run, after Transworld, we go right into Halloween Extreme, and we partner with a company called Spooky Empire that's an amazing horror/pop culture show where they bring in all the celebrities and they have crazy pool parties and all this amazing events. And then we have our show floor, and we're going to be touring tours, I believe, this year to Universal and Studios in Busch Gardens, and that's an amazing event. And then from there, 2 weeks later, we go straight into Midwest Haunters Convention, where we're doing our first ever zombie walk, and we're partnering with a company that's been doing it for years. We're trying to bring in a celebrity to kick off the walk, and we've got the Haunted Hoochie and a bunch of haunted house tours, and we're doing our first ever paranormal at night tour with some people that are going to help out with that ghost hunting. And
Nice.
we're really excited. There's a lot of really cool things happening. Our Thursday pre-convention tour is going to be amazing. We're going to a lot of different haunts in a short period of time, and I'm really excited about it. And then we round out November right after the haunt season with our legendary haunt tour that this year is going to be in Chicago.
Fantastic.
That's a little closer to home this year. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go.
I was really sad I missed out on that last year, but
It's awesome. That whole thing is great because a lot of haunted house owners really attend it, and you get a chance. We do a whole round table where you can really hear how people's seasons went when it's really fresh in their head. And it's great. And the haunted house owners don't usually get a chance during the year. Well, you guys would know, or anyone who works at a haunt, because you're working at that haunt. You don't get to tour other haunted houses.
We don't get to see
anybody. It really gives you an opportunity to see, things at the end of your season, and it's just fun. I mean, it's really turned into a great industry get together. There's no show floor, it's some parties, and it's just the tours, and it's easy. It's really just easy and fun.
Well, fantastic. And once again, you can find more information out at haashow.com. Jennifer, we want to thank you for taking some time out of your weekend to join us. And
no, thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it.
I know we're definitely looking forward to not only Transworld, but a Halloween Extreme and Midwest Haunters Convention as well.
mainly Midwest Haunt Con.
I know you're a big proponent. I can't see. My problem is I can never go to Midwest because it's always on the weekend of my anniversary, and my wife is like,
well, this year it should be different. This is the one year that we had to change it because we couldn't get the hall the way we wanted it. The next year we'll go back to regular time period, but this year it is earlier.
Fantastic.
You have no idea. You just made his entire year.
I'm pumping my fist in the air right now. I'm excited. I'm officially excited now.
Awesome.
See the
well,
way.
If anyone has any questions, my phone number is on the website. So if people have questions about Transworld in St. Louis or Midwest Haunters or Halloween Extreme or Legendary, feel free to call at any time. We're always there. We answer the phones pretty much 24 hours a day at this point. But, we love to talk with you guys and explain the differences of all of our shows and figure out what show really works for the individual.
Well, I'm officially excited now. So We want to again say thanks for taking some time out to join us, and we'll be seeing you at Transworld.
Okay, great. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks again.
Combining 3 decades of special effects, haunted house, and production experience, Crooked Creations specializes in masks and special effects. If you are looking for cutting-edge and original masks for your production or haunt, check out crookedcreations.com. Crooked Creations has been featured in dozens of haunted houses and several independent films and productions. Whether it's burlap, silicone, hybrid, or accessories, your one-stop shop is crookedcreations.com. That's crookedcreations.com.
And that was Jennifer Braverman with Transworld, the HAA show. Really a fun interview. I think we're all pretty excited to be going to Transworld this year. And we talked about it in the intro, but we're covering Transworld in a way that we've never been able to do it before. And anytime you get to do something new, it's always really exciting. And this year looks to be our best Transworld year yet.
I think it's our best year yet in general. I think we're making leaps and bounds here for what Return of the Living Podcast is, but we have nothing but Transworld to thank for that, and I think they've helped network us up and get our name out there more than yeah. But MHC,
I'm excited because it's moving. Yes.
See, this is pretty cool because we just found out that MHC is being moved, which means Brad will be allowed to go, which he has only been to one.
I hope I'll be allowed to go. We'll see. We're
gonna have to feed him beer and secret like
and bacon.
Because you can't be, he doesn't drink, but you can't be at MHC not drunk.
Oh, that's true. We can get him, I don't remember what the non-alcoholic beer is even called. What is
O'Doul's?
O'Doul's. I was thinking Zima, but I think that actually has.
Zima's just
Can I just bring my bottles of root beer that Larry saw earlier today that look like beer bottles?
No.
Aren't really beer?
No.
We'll just get him on O'Doul's, and then once he starts to like the taste of beer, we'll trade it with real beer.
Drain out the O'Doul's and pour something real in there, like moonshine.
I'm so glad my wife doesn't listen to this.
I'm glad your wife doesn't.
Because Transworld would be out of the question if she heard that too. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
Well, shh. Mum's the word. So, anywho, thanks again to Jennifer for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys for listening. Check us out on YouTube. Give us a subscribe and like.
Yeah, buddy.
As they say on the YouTubers.
Now, the surprises you talked about in the intro, are you mentioning those on the show, or are you going to hold
Not yet.
I'm
going to save them. I'm going to save them.
Hold on to your panties.
It's called a tease, ladies and gentlemen.
Tease.
That is a tease.
It's like you think you're going to see my nipple, but then you don't.
Or going back to, I'm going to jump ahead to next week's show real quick because we're going to talk
fucking
about
time travelers here lately.
We are. Well, we're going to talk about my awkward experience watching 50 Shades of Grey with my mom. But the camera pans out just enough to see the top of the pubic hair, and then goes away.
Oh, that's just poor taste.
That's bad. Yeah, well,
it's 2015.
Who has pubic hair in 2015?
Apparently she does.
That's fucking gross.
And he does.
Oh my god! All right, so
isn't that like Velcro?
Subscribe and like
the old hook and loop
on the YouTubers. Check us out on Patreon. We've got some different rewards up now. We are in full swing with Patreon. We've got T-shirts, posters.
The T-shirts are coming. The rewards are already up, but they should be in by the time we have to send them out.
Yeah,
yes.
We'll be shipping they'll be shipped pretty much as soon as you order.
We will have them on our person at Transworld too. We will be wearing them because we're fags.
And we would actually, if you guys, if any of you guys are going to be attending Transworld, please come talk to us.
Yeah.
We love to get feedback from you guys. We love to meet you guys. So come track us down. We'll have our shirts on. You'll see us. Speaking of our shirts, they're going to look like this.
Those are our posters, by the way, which are also on our rewards tier for Patreon.
And if you'll notice, that's me right there.
Hey,
look how fucking awesome I look.
Guys, where am I at on that poster?
Well, we've got Elton John.
Yes.
The Boondock Tank.
and the Angry Hipster.
The guy that looks like he just robbed half-price books.
That doesn't even look like me. I feel so left out. It
does look like you. It's the Van Dyke with the brushed aside hair. The slightly askew mop.
I'm just not that fat. Skinny. I don't know.
Don't
Should
complain,
join-
man. Most people
whatever.
want to look skinnier.
I've gotta go YouTube. So check us out on Patreon. Help us out. Give us your money, and we'll give you stuff in return. We'll have some cool stuff up soon. We're thinking about doing some monthly seminars and stuff that you can subscribe to, things of that nature,
Or just regular.
or just hangout sessions,
just
to
private hangout
shoot
sessions
the crap,
with us.
hang out.
Yeah.
I promise to be partly clothed.
We can talk about whatever you wish, as long as it's
Sure.
not 50 Shades of Shit.
So, with that being said, check us out at Patreon. Check us out on YouTube. All the links are at returnoftheLivingPodcast.com.
Once
And-
again, real quick, I want to thank Jennifer from Transworld for coming on the show. I know she's really busy this time of year, and
Yeah,
being able to take
definitely.
some time out is
a lot of her time.
a lot of
for
her time.
what-
Yeah, was
yeah.
really cool. And again, if there's more information that you needed on Transworld, you can find that at haashow.com.
So that's it for the night, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking around. We're your hosts. I'm Jared Howe.
You go this time.
I like going last.
All right, I'm Brad Bamforth.
Right below, there's a button that says subscribe. Just go click on it. And I'm Larry!
Larry!
This is Return
Catch you
of
next
the
time.
Living Podcast.